Hi all, I'm Christopher. I'm from India, in the southern part of India called Tamil Nadu and specifically in Chennai. I work in a private concern called TCS, Tata Consultancy Service, and I work as a lead here.
Give us some facts and figures about COVID-19 situation, how the history, a little bit history, and then what is happening there now in Tamil Nadu and in India.
Okay. To begin with the perception of COVID-19 in India, not specifically in India about COVID-19, is that it is an existing virus, uh, but was not. But right now it has gone some mutant change, which has actually made the virus to be more strong and against human beings. So that's what is my perception. So in India, compared to the other developed nation like US, Italy, France, it's not that much as of now. But the current state today is that we have nearly around 3,374 cases as of today, and 74 dead cases are reported. So, and today we have 24 cases are reported in Maharashtra, which is a mid part of India. So this is the state of the prevailing situation in India about COVID-19. So, the fear is actually getting into boom in Tamil Nadu because it is actually in touch with Tamil Nadu right now for the past 2-3 weeks, and 2 weeks we are being in shutdown for in every aspects completely, right from the trade till the transport, like everything has been shut down here. The basic necessity alone has been in function now. So apart from that, there's no movement of anything. People are being self-isolated among them.
Well, what is the impact that COVID-19 has created in families, in education system, in employment, in business? One by one, you can share.
Okay. So right now in education, I don't think any bigger impact would be, because almost like it was when it started here about the lock. Self-isolation about people, like it was almost the end of the calendar year for the children. So it was almost the schools are not that much being impacted because they are already been closed before that. So in relation to the university exams, like that won't give a bigger impact because they always have a privilege that they can postpone things to be done at the other months. So there's nothing bigger impact in the education part as per my perception. So the main core impact is on the people around who rely on the daily wages.
Hmm.
So people here in India who have been salaried are not much affected here, because almost like they have been in the paid leave, or like they work from home. So that's not an impact here for those people surrounding to that. But people who do business, daily trade, and also people who rely on uh, wages are all been totally impacted in India, not specifically in Tamil Nadu, in India all over, because they don't have a scope of what they can do for the next day's survival, and they don't have a bigger saving in here.
Now you are talking about the shutdown for 14 days now, and I think you are in your third week. Uh, what do people do at home? What do you hear?
Okay. Okay, people here, Okay, to me, okay, let me talk about myself and my family here,
Yeah,
because I don't have a bigger knowledge behind like what is happening behind all the other family, because we are already been in the shutdown case now.
yeah.
So, and it's not media exposed it about any of the families outside. So no one has been aware. Like only out of the telecommunication, what we speak with other friends over the phone is the only knowledge scope that like we hear from them about their families. So to speak about my family, like we just have some time here to look after each other. So that is the biggest happiness which we have, because like normally I here work for the US timing, because like I work for a US project, so I work for a US timing. So once when I work for the US timing, like I won't be able to see my family after the dawn. So because like at that time, like I would be in my office, and early morning when I return, they will all be carrying out their own work, and like I'll be in sleep. So this is my cycle. So this shutdown or lockdown has broken that, and like I am now able to see my family now, and they are able to see me all the times around them. So that is one good factor inside the family culture. And like we are able to talk among ourselves, which actually creates some communication among us, because earlier we don't have the time frame to do that. So that is now been I mean, like that is now been an opportunity provided by COVID-19, which I could say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Talking about that, what is the one good thing that you learned about your wife in this period?
uh, okay. Right now, like of this 2 weeks, like I have an answer behind this, because in 2 weeks I didn't learn anything specific about this as usual, like what I am seeing out of her, because like it already took 1 week of us to get it settled in the work culture, adapting towards the home, because we don't have a work culture from home as the developed nations have. We always used to work around the office. So right now, when the opportunity being provided, it is a new culture that we have to develop, and like a new remote environment, we have to set up and test things out. So that took a real a long time frame for us to do everything over the weekends and everything, to set the business go without any delay. So because of that, like more than the office timing, the time when what we spend over here in home was actually been more for the past 2 weeks. So I don't have an answer behind this. So I didn't have much interaction with her to see any changes. Probably I believe in the another 2 weeks I'll be see something else.
Yeah, that's great. So, which one you like? Going to work and do your work, or going doing a work at home from home?
Uh, Doing work from home is actually good, which is actually makes childrens to see us, and childrens to speak often, and childrens to play with us, not for the whole day, but like at times they come here and there, and they see our faces and go, they smile, and they do some naughty things around us. So those are all enjoying factors that they enjoy, and also we also see those things enjoyable here. So working from home is good, but to the business perspective, it's actually challenge.
What are the challenges?
Challenge is that like we are not being provided laptops around here in India for everyone, because it is expensive and cost factor here. So all what we have is the desktops provided by the office over here. So desktop doesn't have a cam or doesn't have a voice provision to call the clients and speak with them directly when we need something out from them. So that is the biggest constraint. So in office we don't have like that. Like we can anytime when we want something, we can directly take the phone and call them on the spot. But like here we don't have that provision. So it becomes like lot of chat aspects going around the fingers.
So talking about the shutdown, now you are not allowed to go out for unnecessary things. Only for necessary things that you have to go. So how difficult it is for you in your family?
Okay.
Yeah.
So um, to an extent it is actually difficult because like we around here are allowed to do any purchase for a day within a stipulated time, which is around 2 o'clock. I mean, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is the mid time they have given as the cutoff by the government. But the shops gets locked down even before that. So all we have to do is we have to plan everything before that and get things done and get ourselves settled in home before then. So if we somehow the other day if we miss out something, then that becomes more difficult for us to wait and manage stuff. So, but more than we say, it is actually a difficult and a complex process. It's all good for us because like being inside the home is actually safe here.
So what are your comments on those who don't follow the rule?
Uh, those who doesn't follow the rules is actually the person who is again a B part, which is a person who is becoming infected, and I mean like a possibility to become infected and possibility to spread more without his knowledge. So it's actually a risk factor, and this because of that attitude, the lockdown is going to be extended more and more, and because of that any the trade is going to go down, and the prevailing economic crisis will also be raised because of this if the shutdown extend a country like India.
Yeah. So the humanity has crossed different kinds of diseases such as these. Now, what do you think is are the lessons that this particular COVID-19 teaches us in this modern life, in this globalized life, in this internet-centered life? What are the lessons that COVID-19 teaches the whole humanity?
Um, okay, so this is actually a wider part of question, and if I need to answer this, then it is going to involve everything. But let me cut short things. And to me, earlier, whatever the viruses which came in, like I had a solution, and that was actually been somewhere like not threatening for longer days. But right now, this is not an aspect like that because like this mutant change, which has become more stronger, and like earlier it was among the animals, but now with the humans, spreading from human to a human. So this has now been an unanswerable question for this COVID-19 solution. So this is again going to be a myth in the medical field also. So it's going to be a different part of picture after the shutdowns are being opened. But like to me and to my perspective, this is a silent third world war, which is started by a particular nation and won by a nation anonymously, and it has gone. It has almost brought the leading countries down in the economy, and even the standard nations who thinks that they are safe are also now being frightened because their economy might go down because of this. So it's actually uh, one country started and one country won everyone. So that is the end of this story. So everyone is waiting for what the changes is going to happen now. So it's actually a biowar started and biowar ended now until it gets a solution.
So, why do you believe in this conspiracy theory of one particular nation has prepared this virus in a lab or something and waged a war against other nations? What makes you think like this?
Okay. So it makes me think because it's a unique I mean like it's a common factor that like everyone are following only YouTube as a source for everything. So YouTube, like if we follow like the sources which comes out, like it clearly says uh, the graph now shows the nation started and the nations impacted is all low when compared to a nation right now targeted is streaming up like something. I think like everyone can understand which nation I'm talking about, which is actually streaming without a solution, and they thought like they are the world's number one, but right now like they are actually uh, is like the president in them like doesn't have an option for anything, and like he is going around to strengthen the walls of the country as per the White House conference now. So he doesn't have a solution for COVID now. So targeted around the nation was achieved, and they are actually being more impacted on that. So once when they are impacted, like everyone are getting impacted now. So whomsoever started like has achieved whatever they had in their goal list. It's all my perception around.
Yeah. Coming out of that theory, uh, what do you think? What are your comments on uh, the traditional life, which was more centered on nature and compassion, and now the modern life, which is more profit oriented, and it's no love, and everywhere there are hatred. There's more technology and more exploitation. So, what are your comments on the traditional nature centric life and the modern exploitative life?
Okay. Towards the first part of the question,
Yeah.
uh, we because of in India, I don't know about the global changes, but in India, because of more of the corporate involvement here, has almost brought down the I mean like has separated everyone from the nature being and from the nature cycle of being, has all been backwarded, and people are adapting to the corporate environment, which is actually only towards the business part. So it's all been a big change. So but people doesn't have a scope here because there was a lot of unemployment prevailing, but right now the corporate has given a very boom in solving the problem, but because of that there's an impact around the natural living. The people came I mean like they have been out from that and into a different life cycle,
So,
running around only numbers.
yeah, around the numbers. Since you said about the bio war, when do you think that this bio war will end? And what will be like the world? What will be the world like after the bio war?
um, I mean, to frankly speaking, that like I don't have a very far vision about this, but to an extent of my short vision, like I can tell something that like this will end up uh, once when there's someone calls everyone and states that like we found a medicine for it, and that's going to be a very big medical myth now, and everyone around here without an answer is going to blindfoldly run behind that, uh, spending everything to get that so that they can be delivered out from this. So that would be the immediate that is going to be that is going to happen, and that is what the thing that is the world is expecting now, which would be happening, but I don't know how far it is going to take. Whether they have a limitation of the numbers, they have an extensive of numbers to cross, or they are waiting for that, or I don't know like what is happening. But after that, there's going to be economic crisis around, mainly in India, because if this because India is not actually it has a large crowd of middle earning groups. So not a very high standard people. High standard people are very less here. So, and more of the low poverty line is also bigger in numbers. So in India, like it is going to give an impact if this continues. Another 2 or 3 months, if it continues, it is going to give a real impact in the economic crisis, because already now the expenses are hyping, like without people, if they want to go and purchase also, they can't ask for what is the price of that, because like the shopkeepers around here say like don't ask any prices, whatever there is, like go bill and go then. So that is what the prevailing situation. This cannot continue because no one has the liquid cash here, because going around the digitalization, almost everyone has lost the liquid cash around. So all they have is money electronically. So that too will not sustain for a longer period, because savings is not a bigger scope here in India. So very less scope. So economic crisis will have a bigger impact in India if it prevails for another 2 or 3 months. Around here doesn't seems that like someone around here from Tamil Nadu, they are shouting that like we have a solution around Corona. So, but it has not been heard by anyone. Even the government is not actually hearing like why they are shouting, and because like we have an ancient medicine field called Siddha here, and out of that, Siddha says that like we have a not a 0% answer for anything. Like at least they have a 30 to 40% precautionary measure for this, which is actually they say like we have some formulas that like if we follow that, like that would be a best precautionary medicine that like Corona cannot impact after that. So, but which is called as Kabasura Kudineer, which has actually been spread now. Like government is actually trying to understand about that, but because of the awareness from the YouTube, but I don't know how this is going to take to come out with the people around everyone. So probably like if we can test and see some positive, positive cases become negative, then even we can also spread around strongly about those. So that is the last conclusion which I have.
Yeah. Just to continue that, if a Siddha doctor, Tamil Siddha doctor, comes out with a solution or a precautionary measure, why don't the government and why don't the corporate companies, why don't they want to entertain?
It's a business. That's all we can say. Like it is all around business. So it is going to be again, like I said earlier, it is going to be a business, a big business after this once, when the world says that we have a solution in the medical field. So if that is going to be a big medicine, if a person from India can give a simplest solution for that, then this business cannot flourish after days. So if that is a business, and it is going to be a business around all the countries, so including India, which I meant. So they don't want to hear something around from a person, and that too from a southern part of India, who sits in a corner and say he's a Siddha doctor. And that's what I believe.
Okay, we will finish with this question. If you see coronavirus in front of you, okay, of course you cannot see, but imagine that you see the coronavirus, and if you want to ask one question to the coronavirus, what question you will ask?
I will just ask, who made you?
Okay.
Then I don't have to say which nation started, but like it will answer that question.
Okay. What one request that you will ask coronavirus?
Then we have to ask it to get rid so quickly from the world, not from Tamil Nadu, but from the world.
Very good. Very good.
Because the humanitarian aspect, when we see videos around people being in the ventilators for a long time, and family around them expecting their voice to be heard, and they are not sure like whether they are going to hear that voice or not. So it's actually a tearsome factor around the world now. Being apart from everything, humans are being nerved around their feelings here. So the one thing is like, if it get rid of us from the world soon, like that will give a more bigger relief for everyone and happiness around.
Very good. Thank you very much for your time. Very insightful thoughts and ideas and all your experiences. I think that would be very helpful. Thank you for that.
Thank you.